had no idea what I was walking into when I walked into Eddie's class way back in 2008. I was taking kickboxing classes at Legend. They gave me like a full membership. They were like, oh, you can take everything. And I remember being like, oh, I'll never do the grappling classes, but thank you. And they were like, well, just put them on your membership. And I was like, okay, cool. One day after a kickboxing class or the MMA workout class, one of them, my friend Charlene, who's now a black belt under Cobrinha, asked Eddie if we could take his class. And he was like, yeah, get on the mats, like super casual, no big deal. But also there was no introduction. No like, hey, this is a shrimp, this is how you get on the mat. Just like, yeah, jump in, whatever. And they were like, don't die. But what happened was this community of amazing people were there. And I found them, and you know, in Los Angeles, that was a really special feeling because in LA, there's a lot of social climbing, there's a lot of what can you do for me? So I walked into this room of people who really had no expectations or wanted anything from me, and I didn't really want anything from them. I was there to work out and train. And then I found like this magical thing same thing with the self-defense, like there's a spark inside of me and I just wanted to be on the mats all the time. And I just wanted to be around this group of people that were so accepting and so much fun and so cool to be around. And then I just kept showing up. And 16 years later, here I am running a gym with PJ Barch and teaching women self-defense and traveling the world, teaching self-defense seminars and doing really cool things. And that really didn't come from, I had no vision, no expectations of it. I just walked into a room, found some really cool people that were doing some really cool things and decided I wanted to keep showing up and doing those cool things with them. And here we are a decade and a half later.
Today, I'm trying to control my partner's posture, so I want him glued to my chest and I want him as low as possible. I'd love to get his head near my belly button. The way that I like to do that is a combination of a knee pull and grabbing the back of his head with my watch. So like half koala, half knee pull. I'm gonna pull him to me, and then my watch goes on the back of his head, and I'm creating this pressure point right here between my two wrists, so I can hold him in. Now, I need to get his head lower, closer to my belly button so I can play Rubberguard. I can't play Rubberguard from here if he's too high. Like low enough to step on his hip is a great place to be. If you can do that, you know that he has his head by your belly button. And then I'm getting on the hip opposite of my leg that I'm using for that high guard, for that Rubberguard. I'm gonna get on my opposite hip, and now this leg is coming so I can grab it with my wrist. I'm not ever going to grab it with my hand because if he starts to posture up while I'm holding it with my hand, it's just not strong enough to hold on to him. Wrist to the back of the head, on my hip, bring up this guard, I'm catching it with my wrist, and I'm doing a bicep curl so I can control his posture, and I am stepping on his hip, so if he tries to push into me, I can control his posture that way. I'm squeezing my knee with my opposite hand, and now I am also squeezing my knees together. I'm trying to make my knees and my elbows touch. That's how hard this outside knee needs to be squeezing. So now I'm controlling his posture here, and I'm kind of gonna roll back up a little to my back. I don't wanna stay too far over because then he's gonna posture on my knee. He's gonna frame on my knee, and just step over. But if I just hang out with all of these components, hugging the knee, squeezing my other knee, and stepping on his hip, pulling my bicep towards me, I can control his posture from here. So let's just get a couple reps where we're working this controlling position, making sure everything's nice and tight, and then we can start attacking after we have control of it. Cool?
I have been teaching since blue belt, and a lot of that came because there were no other women at the time. So every time a woman would come into class, Eddie would be like, Dawna will work with them. Dawna, why don't you show them? Dawna, blah, blah, blah. And I taught my first private lesson as a blue belt, was not prepared for it at all. Somebody's girlfriend, and she was a very high profile person at the time. And Eddie was like, she needs a private lesson. And I was like, you want me to do it? And he was like, yeah, you'll be fine. So I taught my first private lesson when I was a blue belt, and I've been really teaching ever since then because Eddie would tap me a lot. Like anytime a woman would come in and need somebody to introduce them to the sport or be a training partner and make it less scary, make it more friendly, I was probably the easiest person in the room to do that. And of course I wanted more women to train with, so it just kind of became my job. Because there also weren't a lot of other women around for a lot of things, my relationship with Eddie kind of unfolded over the years. Is like, hey Dawna, can you help me out with this? Hey Dawna, can you help me out with this? And then we became good friends, and then I became what everybody calls the 10th planet mom. I personally think I'm more of like the cool aunt that could choke out a grown man, but I get that Mama Dawna rolls off the tongue a lot easier. Whatever.
I'm here. I have his hand to the mat, right? That's when I can play this position. This position is called New York. The reason is, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere in Rubberguard. That's the old school joke. Okay. So you want him low, set up that Rubberguard, and now I want to do a combination of basically a flying go-go and an old school setup. So I'm going to grab my top leg. I'm going to take it off my knee. I'm going to grab my ankle and hold his head here, right? I'm going to give him just enough room to start posturing. I'm not going to let him go because I have this hook on the back of his head. And now I'm just going to flip this leg over his face and capture it with this hand. So I'm going to keep my hand on his neck as I give him a little bit of frame to let him think he's about to get out. I'm going to step over his head, get my heel, get my foot right underneath his neck, and I'm going to put my hands back together in this go-go clinch position. In New York, I'm going to let go of my knee, grab my ankle, not my foot, my ankle, capture his head as he starts to posture, and then place my foot in front of his head. This hand needs to stay behind. So I'm going to come here for a gable grip, and I'm kicking this foot forward as I pull my hands to me. Grab the ankle, ready to capture him as soon as he starts to posture up right there. Step over, gable grip, kick. I can even grab my toes right here. Both of those will achieve the choke. Cool? We're here. I'm going to take my elbow off of my knee, grab my ankle, ready to capture him. So as soon as he starts to posture, I capture him with this hand. I step over, catch my foot again, gable grip, either way, and I'm going to squeeze my elbows together, pull them towards me, and kick my foot away. It'll make sense when you do it.
A little bit of a combination of the go-go clinch and an old school go-go, but I've been having a lot of success with it lately, so I'm teaching it.
Awesome.
Like, I make sure that everybody feels welcome on these mats, that they know where they belong, and it's on these mats. But like, there are some training partners that are going to be better for you than others, and there are some coaches that are going to be better for you than others, and hopefully I'm helping people find all those spaces for themselves and the things that work best for them. And then I'm really lucky in that PJ and I are really good business partners, and that we're a lot of yin and yang. I have a lot of things that I can do that help out the gym while he is, over here doing the things that he's good at. He has great organizational and leadership skills, and I think I have great organizational and leadership skills, but in two different categories. We make a really good team, and when PJ is off competing and being one of the best grapplers in the world, and we're really lucky to have him here as our head coach doing that, then I can be here helping run the gym, helping make sure everything is smooth, helping make sure that when he's not here, the community and the culture of our gym is still moving on like usual, and I think that's why we make such a great team. I teach kids every day. I'm usually one of the kids coach helpers. So we have some amazing kids coaches. We have Joey Balistreri, who's a brown belt, Vanessa Cherry, who's a purple belt, Alan De Los Reyes, who's a purple belt, and Lexi Berrigan, who is a blue belt. Those guys are always on the mats, and then I jump into class and help as needed, but I'm also off the mats making sure that we have great relationship with the parents and that the gym is running smoothly and that other things are happening. I teach fundamentals on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. I cover for anybody when they're out of town, and then I also teach mixed levels whenever any of the coaches travel or are out of town. So if you need me, I'm literally always here.